Hi there, gorgeous! In today's video, I'm reviewing an eyeshadow palette from ColourPop, specifically their Rendezvous palette. I've not reviewed any eyeshadows from this brand before, and I was in Ulta in December, which in my life these days is a rare treat with two kids that are babies, 6 months and 2 years old. The last place you want to go with them is a makeup store because you got little hands just hi vey. So when I'm able to get there by myself, it's like, but it's not very often. But in December, I did get an opportunity to go by myself, and it was my first time seeing a ColourPop display in my local Ulta. So it's nice to see that they're in stores now because I know many of you have been asking me about them, and I have been wanting to order, but I don't like ordering online. I'd rather see it in the store. I want to feel it. I want to touch it. I want to smell it. Okay, nobody wants to be that close, but you get my point. And so when I saw these, I was really excited. And they did have testers out so you could sample them. And from what I sampled, I said, whoa, whoa. And this was the palette that I found to be the most attractive, although, I mean, it was hard to pick. Really, honestly. The shades in here are a mixture of mattes and shimmers. It's a very warm palette. There are a couple of cooler toned eyeshadows in here, but for the most part, you're getting a lot of really loud, bright, warm shades. Now, I've been using this palette for about the past 2 months or so, and in my experience with it, the mattes are so incredibly easy to apply, blend, work with. They're just amazing formula there. The shimmers are great too. They apply very easily and they do a nice wash of color on your eyes. But if you want a more intense look with the shimmers, apply them wet. When you apply them wet, they really do stand out. So the look that I'm wearing in today's video is one of the ones I'll be showing you towards the end, by the way, if you are curious. And we'll start off with a look that I was wearing in a video recently. It was the one where I reviewed the L'Oreal Fresh collection. It was that teal look. Oh, this is so beautiful. To create that look, I applied Want You Back in the crease using the Sedona Lace, what brush is that? EB09. It's my typical go-to crease brush. Then I took the shade Release, and this is that beautiful teal, oh my gosh, and I applied it to the inner 2/3 of the lid. And with this one, I did not apply it wet at all. The way that you're seeing me apply it is from pan to eye, and that one is extremely vibrant. No trouble with that one whatsoever. Lastly, I took the shade Let's Do It and applied it to the outer third of the eye and carried this up into the outer V and blended it in small circular motions into the crease, the outer crease of the eye. And that black is so pigmented that a little bit goes a long way, so I would recommend taking a very small amount on your brush, applying it, maybe wiping your brush in between, and using what you've applied to blend it around the eye. That way you won't end up with a big muddy mess. Now for the look that I'm wearing in today's video, to create this, I'll show you an up-close tutorial here. I took the shade Style, applied that into the crease first. Actually, I'm sorry, it's called Style and Grace. This is a very red eyeshadow, very red. I didn't think I would like it at first, but it's quite pretty in a lot of combinations. The next shade I took from this palette is called Our Secret, and I applied this to the inner 2/3 of the lid. I did apply this eyeshadow wet, so I spritzed it with a setting spray from City Color Cosmetics before I applied it. And you don't need to apply it wet because the color is pretty vibrant on its own. I really wanted to intensify this color, and that's why I applied it in that way. And finally, I went in with the eyeshadow called Textual and applied this into the outer V and the outer third of the eye and really blended it up into those colors in the outer crease also. I am wearing Rimmel's Addiction lip liner paired up with MAC's Myth lipstick, and then I took a little bit of Maybelline's Blushing Beige lipstick and applied that right onto the center. So that is the lipstick combination here today. I also applied a brown eyeliner into the upper waterline and the lower waterline. Now for the last look that I'm showing you with this palette, I took the shade Style and Grace again and applied this into the crease. Then I took the eyeshadow called Shake It Off and I used that to deepen and begin to define the crease. And I wanted to use this one because it's one of those eyeshadows you look at it and you think, what am I gonna do with that? It's a very rich magenta red almost. It's really pretty if you pair it up with some of the other browns in this palette. And on top of that, I applied Textual to further deepen the crease. And when you blend these two together, it becomes more of a reddish brown, which is really pretty. Then I took the eyeshadow Fling, applied that onto the lid, and wasn't too crazy about this lid color with the crease colors I had already applied, so I went in with the eyeshadow called My Treat, and I layered that over Fling, and it gave me more of a golden white lid color, which I ended up really liking with this look. So came together really well, but there was a lot of layering in this look. Now my only complaint with this palette, and it's this palette alone, is that the way that they printed the names on this palette, it makes it very hard to see them. And I'm just saying, I have 20/10 vision, I do, and I can see stuff very well, but I struggle with seeing the names on this palette because of the way that they're printed, and because the front of it, this part right here, is so metallic and the text is white, it makes it even harder to read the names. Now, they did put the names on the back of the palette, which is very helpful, so that's a great way to reference them, but that is my only complaint. Overall, for being my first ColourPop eyeshadow palette, I was extremely impressed with the quality of this Rendezvous palette, and it has made me want to go out and try other palettes from this brand, and that's a great thing. When you get a palette that makes you want to go try other ones, and you know you got a really good palette. So let me know what other palettes you'd like to see me review from ColourPop in this style of format. Let me know what you thought about this format. I hope that it's helpful because I know a lot of us struggle with getting looks with eyeshadow palettes, so it's good to have videos like this that give you some ideas. I know I personally sometimes will sit there at a palette and just stare at it and think, what am I gonna do with this today? So sometimes there's a lot of trial and error for me too. We're all human, we all mess up. I know I do especially. Let me know what you thought about the Rendezvous palette. Again, share your thoughts below of any others you'd like to see included in the future. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Please subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.